So, this was never a tutorial that I thought I'd ever need to make. Bullshit happens all the time and I'm kinda used to it. But when I saw Ubisoft butcher one of the most beautiful, iconic waifus of my generation, they crossed the fucking line. They crossed it so hard, in fact, that I think my accent came back. Like, what the actual is going on here? This is not 2B. This is a drag dude wearing a dress. It seems like the overwhelming majority of the gaming industry has completely forgot how to make beautiful women. Even worse, when you call them out on it, they'll make up an excuse and say, oh, you're not a 3D artist, you have no idea what you're talking about. Bullshit. I'm a 3D artist and I use the exact same software as the rest of the industry. It's not complicated, you just suck at making characters. This is a skill issue and I'm about to fucking prove it. But first, we gotta get over this stupid idea that beauty is subjective. It is not. Just because you don't find supermodels attractive does not mean they aren't still objectively attractive on a world scale. Sure, you can find some arbitrary culture in some village in some corner of the world with a completely inverted taste of beauty, but that does not change the fact that each year during the Olympics, cross-culturally, we men come together from every single country and enjoy the same beautiful shape of a woman in the comment section, watching our favorite women's sports like long jumping, pole vaulting, archery, and bobsledding. It doesn't matter what country or culture you're from. We all know a beautiful woman when we see one. If you look up beautiful woman from Egypt, Brazil, Peru, Sweden, Russia, Denmark, South Africa, Mexico, Nigeria, Argentina, Spain, China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, 99% of the time, the world agrees on what a beautiful woman looks like. Sure, the color, the face, and the hair might change, but the beautiful silhouette is always the same. Beauty literally unites all men from every country, from every culture. That is why the meme is called Men of Culture. So let's stop lying to ourselves about this subjective bullshit. This is not a social construct. It's Mother Nature, evolved and perfected into the most perfect shape that we call a woman. I am so tired and fed up with this idea that the 99% rule does not exist because the 1% disagrees. I'll put it this way. If something is true at least 51% of the time, then that means it's true most of the time. Which means if you disagree with something that is true most of the time, then you are objectively wrong most of the time. Which means you are delusional, and you are not operating in the real world. Of course, you are free to be as delusional as you want, but please stop bothering the rest of us that are enjoying this tiny bit of reality left that we enjoy. Now, if it's not your fault, like you honestly don't know how to make a character beautiful, and you would like to know, then you have come to the right video. By the end of this, you will know everything you need to fix an awfully designed character. And to make sure that we are being faithful and reasonable to women, we will be modeling our adjustments off of real women. Specifically, this one. Nothing crazy, we just want our art to reflect the real world beauty of a living, breathing female example. So this is our goal. So now that we have our objective, let's get to the 3D modeling part. Now, as someone who's been in game development for 15 years now and works as a 3D artist, I know that you are using ZBrush to sculpt your character, because that is what the industry uses to sculpt characters. And everyone knows that ZBrush, by default, comes with a free base female body. The simplest starting point on the planet. Now, it's definitely not perfect and it needs a lot of retopology work, but this is the default. Which means, if your character's body looks worse than this, then you fucking suck, because it should only ever look better from here. This is the bare minimum. And remember, as a game designer, you are making games for the consumer, which is also a customer. And if the consumer does not like your designs, then you are failing as a commercial 3D artist. So just do your fucking job. Because if you don't, well, then I guess the real artist will have to do it for you. Same way the first Descendant devs are trolling the Concord artist with basic touch-up designs. So here are the basic rules. Starting with the base body, the first thing that everyone knows you do is you start with the inflate brush and stroke those boobs. Next, everyone knows from there you go straight to the tush and do the same thing. Then with the move brush, obviously we gotta raise the cheeks. Fantastic. Okay, now here's all the main differences that you need to push in order to make the shape more beautiful. Narrow the shoulders. Not this, this. Narrow the waist. Widen the hips. thin ankles, small feet, always raised heel position. This makes her legs look longer than they really are. You would be surprised in real life. The middest looking 5 can easily become a 7 if she just wears heels and goes to the gym regularly. From this point, we want the wrists thin, small hands, thin the neck, small head, and we want to soften all the facial features. No square jawlines, softer, more rounder features. Generally, we want the eyes to be a little more cat-like. And finally, long hair, short hair, or even ponytail like Sailor Moon or Zero Suit Samus. Those are the 3 options that always work. Just make sure that you avoid the fugly, identity-confused, semi-buzz bullshit that looks like the barber forgot to finish the other half of the haircut. Short hair, long hair, ponytail. Pick one of those 3. All those options will make your character look more feminine. And we're done. It wasn't even a long time. Took like what? Barely 5 minutes? Imagine how much better I could make this look if I spent a whole hour on the character. And you know what the crazy thing is? I'm not even that fast. I'm just an average 3D modeler. I know guys in the industry who are 3 times, even 5 times faster than me. So this is the bar, guys. For all of you out there who aren't sure how hard it is to make a beautiful 3D female body, now you know. It takes 5 minutes in ZBrush, and should only ever look better than this. If it does not look better than the default body, then you know the artist needs a lot of practice. And if you're an artist yourself, you can apply these techniques to beautify literally any character. And I mean any character. The community and I actually did this for the default Unreal 5 female mannequin, and it turns out with just a few small changes, the default mannequin can actually look pretty good. These 2 characters have the exact same bone proportions, centimeter for centimeter. The only difference is I raised the heels and toned up the hips and legs a bit, but you can see just how much better everything gets with just a few small adjustments, especially when you start adding things like jiggle physics. And if you're wondering why we did this, well, it's just because when you're working 8 hours a day building a game, having a beautiful mannequin instead of a standard one just makes the whole experience a lot more enjoyable. So, now you know. Which means if you ever feel like the studio of your favorite game might not know how to make attractive female characters, just send them this video. I'm not hiding this information behind a paywall, there's no Udemy course, I just want more beautiful characters in the world. So this video and the information in it will always be completely free. So let's make the world a more beautiful place. And if you like this video, please drop a like or a comment. It really helps us with the algorithm. And if you really had fun, then you might want to consider joining the Patreon squad. Because every time I make videos teaching people how to model characters, I get flagged and sometimes partially demonetized for quote-unquote inappropriate content. But honestly, I have no fucking clue how I'm supposed to teach people how to model characters when I can't even show what the hell we're modeling. So any support you can spare really helps insulate us from the algorithm, which truly does hate us. But regardless, thanks for watching, hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you around.